Hey, what's up? What's going on out there? I'm about to check out this video with Charlamagne the God and Anderson Cooper. They're going to be talking about CNN's coverage of Donald Trump and whether it's been fair. So I'm going to check out the video and leave my commentary.
Her saying that she believes Donald Trump is a fascist got a lot of headlines because it was the first time that she said it. She's been going along for days saying Mark Milley said he's a fascist. This person said this. You raised the question of authenticity in your interview with her, and that was an authentic moment where she says, "Yeah, I do think he's a fascist," and I think that's why it had a reaction. Donald Trump, for whatever you think about him, if you like him, if you hate him, he is certainly who he is. He's shown us who he is every single day.
Yeah, which is a fascist. And it's crazy because you still don't have news networks having that conversation. Yeah. Like when somebody says,
I'm going to stop it right there. When Charlamagne calls Donald Trump a fascist, I remember in the 2016 election, it was the same talking points. Oh, he's a fascist. He's leaning towards more of a dictatorship if he becomes president. He's going to turn America into North Korea. It's the same sad, sorry, crybaby ass political viewpoints that they had in 2016. That's why, honestly, in my opinion, like all the things about him being a fascist aren't gaining any traction.
Somebody questions Kamala Harris's blackness or is she a DEI hire, y'all will have roundtable.
Honestly, because she's not, it's proven she's not so-called black. Well, she's Indian, which is quote unquote black, but that's a whole nother topic for another day. But she's not a so-called black person like we would consider a black person here. That's right. I don't know why they keep reverting back to that.
Discussions about that, asking that question. How come you're not having roundtable discussions asking, is Donald Trump a fascist? Actually not even asking it, stating it. I mean, when you look at the things that he's talking about doing, jailing journalists, jailing his political opponents, turning the military on American citizens. The guy said he wanted to terminate the Constitution to overthrow the results of an election. How come that is not the topic of discussion?
He said he wanted to terminate the Constitution because he felt like in his opinion, the 2020 election was fraudulent. That's why, he was in his feelings then. If you read exactly what he said about it, it wasn't what Charlamagne is saying. And keep in mind, I don't care for either party. Both of them, honestly, to me, can fall off a cliff. I wouldn't lose any sleep.
On networks like CNN every day.
But do you think that, you were raising this with Kamala Harris about her own authenticity, about her own willingness to just, say things that aren't crafted. Do you think she needs to do more of that? Trump's going to go. Trump's going to go. Apparently,
yes.
Apparently, Trump's is going to tape a thing with Joe Rogan. Do you think she should do that?
I think that she should keep calling Donald Trump a fascist. And I think that Americans need to keep looking at the rhetoric of Donald Trump, because I don't know why we're even thinking about electing somebody who's talking about putting people in camps. I don't know why why we want to elect somebody who's talking about mass deportation. I don't know why we're having this conversation about somebody who wants to terminate the Constitution to overthrow the results of an election. Aren't we supposed to be a patriotic country? Whenever somebody like Colin Kaepernick takes a knee in this country, everybody talks about, oh, that's so unpatriotic. But a guy can say he wants to terminate the Constitution to overthrow the results of an election and nobody cares.
And
like even
I'm gonna stop him right there. For some reason, I knew he was gonna get the Kaepernick. Kaepernick, in my opinion, was wearing a Halloween costume, and the good men and good women out there know what I'm talking about. He threw on a couple Muhammad Ali T-shirts and Huey P. Newton shirts and grew his afro out. Now he's some type of pseudo-Marxist. And for the people out there that know what I'm talking about, because I'm not trying to deviate too much from the topic, you know what I'm talking about, what he stood for and what who he was really aligned with. If you get on his website or go to Black Lives Matter, you'll see exactly who they stand for and what they about. They didn't care about so-called black people getting treated harshly, or so-called black males getting treated harshly by the police or getting killed or whatever. That wasn't about that. They had a whole nother agenda. But to him to say, Charlamagne, honestly, I don't know why so many people put stock into what this guy says. He's just a radio personality. He's funny. I give him that. But he's showing us signs of just a big shield. because when he interviewed Kamala on his they had like a podcast or something like that. He was kind of, grilling her pretty hard. Now all of a sudden he's just like flipping. They probably got in his ear or told him, "We'll give you some more money to, push this narrative." That's what it sounds like to me.
Even me bringing it up now, you brought it back to Kamala and Joe Rogan. Anderson?
Yeah.
Who gives a damn?
Well, I mean, I think you give damn who's elected president, and
Yeah,
I'm
especially
asking
if that
you.
president is a fascist. That's talking about putting people in camps. That's talking about, once again, terminating the Constitution to overthrow the results of an election. That's talking about, jailing his political opponents. Like, that rhetoric doesn't scare people?
Well, we talked about this every single. This is what
I don't think
I've been
y'all talk
talking
about
about this
it
every night.
I don't think y'all have enough conversations about it. I feel like I heard more on this network about is Kamala Harris black than I do about, Donald Trump being a fascist.
Well,
am I wrong, Angela?
Honestly, that's bullshit. I'm sorry.
Oh, I like that.
That's
Go ahead.
See, you could tell Charlamagne just there for the BS, man, just for the controversy. That's all it's for, man. Just CNN knows what they're doing, having these people on the show.
Anderson.
No, I'm not. Look, I'm a huge fan of yours.
Okay.
But to say that we're sitting around discussing is Kamala Harris black, like
I've seen that. I've seen
that's
those roundtable
definitely
discussions
on.
a lot. Now
That's
that's
true.
bullshit, Anderson. For you to say that y'all don't have those conversations.
I've never asked somebody is.
I'm not saying
Kamala
you.
Harris
I said
black?
the
Not you.
network.
He said the network. He
I
did
don't
say
think
the
anyone
network.
I don't think any anchor on this network has been going around saying, "Is she black?"
Y'all have never
It's
had
definitely, it's definitely
we have
been.
had. Look, I'm sure we have had, nutty people or people who have strongly held beliefs who I may disagree with, who
Yeah.
somewhere on some panel have said something, but
Yeah.
I will just
But
speak
even-
up for what I do on the show. I do believe it's important to get people different viewpoints as long as they're willing to have a legitimate conversation. What I
But
don't like
is-
are surrogates who come out and just spout talking points that they don't even believe, and those are people I tried to eliminate from having ever on the air again.
I think no network has honest conversations about Donald Trump. Nobody's had honest conversations about Donald Trump since 2016. I saw last night they were talking about, the double standard that exists between Donald Trump and the vice president. But it's always a double standard with Trump, whether it's with Hillary, whether it's, against Biden, now with Kamala. We talk about him being a threat to democracy, but we don't treat him like one.
I mean, I don't know what you've been watching, but I don't know of any Trump supporters out there or people who like him who are tuning in to me every night to try to get, to be validated in their opinions. I don't know.
I was about to say the same thing. Like, what hardcore MAGA Trump supporter is really tuning in to CNN to get Anderson Cooper's feedback? Unless he's saying something negative about Trump so they can make a comment about it. Man, Charlamagne talk it's like he's getting possessed by the spirit of Kamala right here or something. I don't know. It's like weird. It's like somebody from the Democratic Party got in his ear and told him, "Look, you need to toe the line and say this and do that, and we're going to pay you some more money or something," because he looks like a damn clown.
I don't know. I disagree.
I don't
with
think it's
you.
about validating. What you mean, validating the Trump?
Well, you're saying that we're not that I guess you're saying I'm not discussing all the things he is saying and doing and pointing it out and talking to what John Kelly. I mean, this has been discussed. There's nobody.
Anderson.
Let me just say, there is nobody on the planet who has not heard and seen pretty much everything Donald Trump has said and knows.
I don't believe that.
Knows,
I don't believe that.
Well,
When-
knows
when-
who
when-
he
when the
is,
vice
whether they
president- no,
believe
I
it
don't
or
believe
not,
that.
whether they care or not.
When the vice president said that to you last night, she said, "I don't think enough people know." I 100% believe enough people have not heard his rhetoric. What do you think, Angela?
I was just about.
Honestly, man, Charlamagne sound like a damn clown. He acts like the internet or all the social media stuff isn't out. Like, all the stuff Donald Trump says, his every move, and Kamala's every move is out there on the internet for people to see damn near. So it's not like people don't have a way to see this type of stuff. Like, it's just being hidden or it's being covered up. Like, I don't know what the hell this dude talking about.
To say, can y'all tag me in? I'm never doing this
I'm
remote with y'all
sorry.
ever again.
Angela, yes. It's the problem of being on satellite. Yes.
I
talk,
know
please.
it is the
Come in.
problem. No, I was just going to say, I think what you're saying is fair, that there have been roundtable discussions where y'all raised this. I think the problem is it would be nice for, you to cut to camera and say, I'm looking right here, right now. Y'all, Kamala Harris is a black woman.
Right,
Let's
that's not
move right along.
Yeah,
but,
yes.
but I was.
That's the problem, man. She's not so-called black as what you think of being black, whatever. Like I said, that's a whole nother topic for a whole nother day because a lot of people don't even know what that means. Black is just a color. That has nothing to do with your ethnic group or your ethnic makeup at all. And I don't know why people don't get that simple concept. Well, I'll say I know why, because nobody teaches that except for people that really come from an ethnic group, or they come from a certain belief system or certain customs, or excuse me, a certain nationality, and not like a citizen of the U.S. I don't know. Her saying that she's another paid shield for the Democrats, just another person to mislead so-called black people.
I'm going to say to your colleague's credit, Jake, right after the town hall yesterday, he said that you all had the opportunity to critique what Kamala Harris' policy proposals were, what her positions were, what her recommendations were, whether or not she answered her question fair enough, because, ta-da, she's the only one that showed up for the town hall. Yeah. It was supposed to be a debate. He said that. I think that the point is we don't hear those things enough, and it has been a threat. We cannot say, oh, Kamala is going on with Joe Rogan, Donald Trump is going on with Joe Rogan, but Kamala's choosing Club Shay Shay. Debate it. Like it's like, what is he going to say when he goes on?
Here's what I've been saying, which is it is a double standard because Kamala Harris has policies and she talks about her policies. And you may think she doesn't talk in detail enough about her policies, and plenty do. And I pushed her on that last night. I try to look at the policies from different, but she's got stated policies and you can look them up. Donald Trump does not have policies.
Oh, there you go. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, and we say, this is nothing new. We talk about this all the time. He does not have his policy. In the 2016, his policy for Iraq was taking Iraq's oil by using U.S. soldiers to surround the oil fields and extract the oil somehow and bring it to America. Literally, and I was like, that's not a thing. So that's been going on now. That's what
you just did.
See, I don't know. It's like Anderson Cooper. They kind of reeled him back in. Like, no, you're deviating too much, from what our beliefs is, And CNN is supposed to be like a fair station, not like MSNBC or like Fox News. They're supposed to be like toting the line, like a middle line. But then they're like more left leaning a little bit, but. It's more. I would say it's more like you can take it in better than listening to MSNBC, but I don't know. It's like Anderson Cooper is like kind of flip flopping right here, and then the thing that's helping Trump is he's already been the president, and as far as a lot of Americans goes, like when he was the president, America was doing a lot better, so he has that going for him.
What you just did is what I would like to hear more pundits do, because a lot of times we ask ask answers.
All right,
like we say things like, "Do you think Donald Trump is a fascist?" Like I think we kind of got enough evidence to know that answer.
I'm not a pundit. I'm not interested. I don't think my opinion is particularly interesting for viewers out there. I'm interested in.
I disagree.
Well, okay, you can quibble with it.
I disagree with that too.
You can quibble with it, but I believe in asking questions and probing people's arguments and trying to reveal people's arguments, what's true and what's not. And I'm not on MSNBC for a reason. I'm not on some other network for a reason. I'm on CNN because I want to talk to Republicans, I want to talk to Democrats, and I want to learn from them. I don't think I have the answers. I'm willing to change my mind. People can convince me of stuff all the time. I'm not I don't even know why I'm talking about myself. I don't even like talking about myself.
No, but Anderson,
but my point is,
I want to tell you this.
I think what we're doing here is important because I do think in this country where, you know what, I got so many, I don't look at comments about myself, but I was looking up some comments about my Grief podcast, and I came across this whole inundation from people who are Harris supporters saying to me online today, like, how dare you, what a betrayal that you would ask her these questions.
No,
and I'm like,
your job.
You misunderstand what my job is. I'm not on MSNBC, and no disrespect, what they do is, they're very talented. But I don't watch it. I'm not interested in watching what these overpaid blow-dried anchors think, and I include myself in that overpaid blow-dried, although I don't blow-dry. I am overpaid. But I'm not interested in the anchor's opinion. I'm interested in facts and letting the viewers make up their own mind. So anyway, I'm sorry this devolved into something else, but this is
I like
fascinating.
that you said that, but I will just say in this moment, some of what we're talking about tonight, Anderson, is not actually an opinion at all. It is just the facts. And you are one of the most trusted voices on television. And it is important in those moments where you know those conversations devolve into nonsense, particularly on the other side of the aisle.
Right.
They're conspiracy theories. They won't even say her name right. That has to be checked in the moment, because that is what fascism looks like. That is how we start sliding down a very slippery slope, and we cannot afford to be here. The election is 12 days away, and this should not be even what is on the ballot, but democracy's on the line. That is not a partisan issue. It is the truth. And I think that's what's important for cable news networks in particular to be saying, whether you're on Fox, you're on CNN, or you're on MSNBC. For all of us, that is our responsibility and our patriotic duty.
And now that I know you can literally call bullshit, I want
Literally.
I want to hear it more.
All right, that's the end of the video. Like I said, they have Charlamagne and Angela, the other chick, Angela, around there, you know, just for controversial moments like this, just calling BS and things like that. Absolutely no substance. And honestly, and I'm speaking for the good men and the good women of the good book out there. Like, stop putting so much faith in all these political parties. Like the good book says, I believe it's in Lamentations chapter 4, I think it's like verse 12. You've watched vainly for a nation to save you. These nations and these political parties will not save so-called black people. They won't. And when I'm talking about so-called black people, I'm just going to talk about so-called black people in America. These people will not save you. Stop putting all your eggs in one basket. And I know some good men and some good women out there might not believe in the Most High, but that's going to steer us on the right path, and that's going to give us our rest. Even the Messiah said that, you know, trust in Him, you will find your rest. But that's my commentary on it. You know, let me know what you guys think, and just leave some comments if you want to.